And tonight we're going to jump right into our big story. The place with all the high rises and parks hasn't been quite the same over the last few years. Downtown Portland. Now we can talk downswings and upswings, but when it comes to figuring out if and when downtown Portland has recovered, how do we measure that? When will we actually know recovery is really happening? I mean, maybe it's happening as we speak here. Okay, you could take the personal approach, go out and take a look around for yourself, maybe go out to eat, go shopping, see a show. For a lot of people, that is the only metric that matters. If you don't have a good experience coming downtown, then you're less likely to come back. You can also check out news coverage. We have talked about businesses and organizations that have moved away from downtown and the central city. But you can also look at coverage we've done of summer festivals and so on. Thousands of people packing downtown and the waterfront for events and concerts, some staying overnight, some going out to dinner. Now you might say that's all a bit limiting because those are just snapshots. So let's zoom way out and take a look at the data. How many feet are actually on the ground downtown at any given moment? We're going to do a little bit of that tonight. We've reported before on a study from the University of California, Berkeley and the University of Toronto. They looked at the number of mobile phones in a city's downtown area at a specific time, and they compared it with that same time period before the pandemic, so back in 2019. Now, when we first reported on this study last year, Portland was number 60 out of 62 cities. Yeah, not good. The researchers said downtown Portland had only recovered about 41% of the activity that it had in 2019. Well, here's the thing. Those numbers have updated, and according to the University of Toronto, downtown Portland's situation has not gotten better. In fact, they say it's gotten worse. I mean, there was nearly nowhere to go, but Portland somehow managed to fall a spot to number 61, with only 37% of the visitors it had back in 2019, and just one step ahead of the last spot, which is held by San Francisco. Really tough company. Okay, well, there is the cold, hard data. You really can't argue with it. Or maybe you can. How can the data show downtown is getting worse, at least by that metric, when so many people are starting to come back for events, for restaurants, and shows? So what do? You dig deeper. And our colleagues at the Oregonian did just that this past weekend, publishing Downtown Portland's recovery better than advertised. So they took a look at the University of Toronto study and they realized something. The study's definition of downtown Portland is pretty narrow. The Toronto study only included the areas between the Hawthorne and Burnside bridges and only went as far west as Southwest Broadway. So that captures Pioneer Courthouse Square, Pioneer Place, but it's missing spots like the Art Museum, the Keller, Powell's Books, and so on. In fact, there aren't really any big attractions, so to speak, in that area aside from the square and the waterfront. So what do? Well, the Portland Metro Chamber, that is the new name for the Portland Business Alliance, did their own downtown recovery study, looking at a much broader area from Old Town down to Portland State and then out to about I-405. They say, according to their data, which also counted cell phones here, downtown Portland is actually on the upswing.
The slow and steady progress that has occurred on two very distinct fronts, which is first off, visitors, people that want to come to our festivals, eat in restaurants, visit our stores. That has slowly but surely been creeping up and is nearly 70% recovered. So that is a good story. That's the sort of recovery momentum you want to see. And just most recently, as of July this year, we saw 2.4 million folks in total come into the district, which is a great number, not where we were in 2019. And so we're seeing that steady improvement, and that's what you want to know. And then secondly, we also really look granularly at the employees, and you can distinguish them because, employees sit in office buildings most of the day. And what we have seen recently is something very encouraging, which is that number is now more than 50% recovered. So we were really challenged, I think, towards the end of last year. The momentum has started to swing, and we're seeing positive growth in both those who are coming to sort of play and shop and have fun at our festivals, and also too the lifeblood of the downtown, which are the workers that come into these office buildings. We're starting to see them come back in, and that to me is going to be the bellwether of our recovery.
The momentum has started to swing. Hone pointed to that full slate of events this summer in downtown that each brought out thousands of people over the course of days or weeks, like the Waterfront Blues Festival, the Rose Festival, Pride, and of course, live concerts in Portland's living room.
Boy, Portland showed up. And this is Waterfront Blues Festival all the way to Pioneer Square. This is the Portland we all remembered, where we're celebrating, we're gathering, we're listening to live music. This last weekend, we just had a paint off in downtown Portland. I mean, the things that really make us who we are, and this is what people know about us. It's our eclectic gatherings and funky experiences that you can really tap into. And I think you saw the summer festival season just absolutely crush it this year.
And each and every one of us can play a part in that. But you know there's going to be a but here. He says there is still a long way to go. We can all see that. Hone is now part of the governor's downtown task force. He says he is optimistic that so many different people are working together to improve downtown.
What is important to understand about the Toronto study and about our data is that it isn't as bad as we have been told it is, but it's also not what it should be. And public safety, cleanliness, livability issues, the challenges that we see with chemical addiction, drugs on our street, public safety concerns, they're real and they cannot be ignored. And it is important that we address them.
A little glass half full, a little glass half empty there. All right, we want to hear from you now. What does recovery mean to you when it comes to downtown Portland? When will you be ready to come back? Or are you already back? Let us know. Send an email to thestory@kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail. I know the team loves listening to them. That number is 503-226-5090.